Hello, everyone.
We're
Welcome
live.
to the slightly delayed recap stream. But thank you all for joining. It's the recap of round one of the final refrain, the best of three single elimination Archon with some of the best players in the world selected on their official OP um, results. And I'm joined here by Harmed. Good evening.
Hello, good evening. Great to be here.
Nice to have you here. And by Sunday, you'll be looking at a picture, but
Yeah, no webcam today, but thank you for having me. It's great to be
yes,
here.
yes, yes, yes. So, yeah, today we have a full program. So I think we should just get into it. There's a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. Round one was completed. We've had 16 matches. Some of them 2 games, some of them 3. We managed to live stream 15 of them with live commentary. Um, and unfortunately, one where Riku was playing, we live streamed it, but there was no commentary. I think a voiceover commentary will be done, and all the videos will be uploaded to the YouTube. Um, so again, lots to talk about. If the audio is bad or if it's good, please let us know. I want to balance the audio levels of Harmed and Sunny and me, so we kind of have a nice experience listening to us. So we'll go through the bracket, the current bracket, um, all round one matchups, and all the resulting matchups of those matches. Perfect. Thank you, Benji. Great performance, by the way, Benji. Then we'll go into some set statistics and the prediction game that was going on. Let's see who was leading there. Then some team statistics, which teams were playing in the league, um, who's still in it, and then the new bracket. So this is the original bracket. We did the draw live. Um, Harmed, you are in this bracket as well, aren't you?
Sure am, yeah. Top left.
Top
And
left.
it's a challenging eight people, yeah.
Yeah.
Still is.
I'm also in this on the bottom left, and I would say maybe even more set of challenging, but all the places are challenging. And Sunny, you are not in the list, but some teammates of yours
No,
are, right?
yeah, I got some friends, but I am all but a sealed luck sack, so that is why I am
Yeah.
here just to watch.
All right. So I ordered all the matches from top left to bottom left, and then top right to bottom right. So the first matchup that we'll be going into is Isfat versus Matze. Um, Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to look at all the matches, but I think together we will be able to comment on most of these matches. I know the outcome, but what happened in this match? Who wants to take this one?
I can slowly start because my predictions were, to be honest, that Dictature would
Yeah,
take it.
same for
Um,
me.
Yes, I had the
mostly,
same feeling.
yeah,
Yeah.
because Short Sword doesn't deal well with key cheats to start with. And I've played against both of the decks. I've played against Dictature in the top four Fall Tour in Hamburg, and I've played against Shortsart in the Dutch Nationals in 2023. So I know both decks pretty well. And I thought Dictature, as soon as it gets going, it gets the key abduction archive, maybe a good Wodka off, it will just get there.
Yeah.
And it didn't. So what happened in game number one was that I think both parties got a little bit of an awkward draw, but in the end, Isfet just went for it. He just bursted all the way up to, I think, 18 Ember in the
Oh
end.
my
And then,
goodness.
of course, you
Ugh.
see one of those key cards on the right side.
A little
That's
too much to protect.
a
Yeah.
little bit too much to protect, just barely.
So if you didn't know any better, you would say that's a misplay, but obviously we do know better, right? And there was this moment that he probably had to go for it, right?
Yep.
Sometimes you just have to go all
Yeah.
in, right? And you never really know when's the good timing. From like backseating, I thought he had a few more turns because short start wasn't really putting on that much of the pressure. I think it was 1-in-1 in keys or something. So I thought it was still fine, but I don't see the hands. I don't have all the information, and probably Isfet made the right choice, or he learned from it, which is also valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Estron, thank you for joining. Um,
From what
Hello.
I So from I talked a little bit with Matza earlier this morning after his match. He said he tested this matchup a lot. It was very favored on the side of Dictator, um, but what it came down to was
Yeah,
his deck Charizard being able to burst really quickly,
Yeah,
and Isfet not really finding a lot of the
yeah.
answers or a lot of the tools necessary to fire combo.
and that's also what happened game two. I think Isvet got a bit of an awkward draw. Matze went out of the races really quickly with an immediate time traveler, Archimedes, Helper Bot being able to archive some of those pieces, and before you knew it, he was already on check for his third key. Like it was over in a flash.
So before this stream started, I had to um, add 5 minutes to the queue because my kids start waking up, and what do you know? Another one
Oh,
of them does. But I'll leave you in capable hands. It will take a couple minutes to calm them down. Um, we see the result here that Mats took this game, and please take it away for this game. I'll be right back.
Yeah, so we have Faith Beatroptogram, piloted by Sith, versus Adam Insling, the Ping Fraud, piloted by Dr. Sheep. This one was this went to 3 games, I believe, right?
I
Or was
think
it
it was
two?
only two.
I think it
I'm
was two,
certain of
but
that.
very close to.
Yeah,
Um, Obviously, very interesting matchup given that we have a battleship deck. As you can see in the bottom left, we got triple Sandhopper as well as a puzzling trinket and EQG outpost, versus what Sheep has a what's the card name? Sorry.
you have the EMP blast, which is
Yep,
super important in this matchup, and it's not even on the bottom right in the key cards, but it should be there for this one.
it should be absolutely. Yeah, that
I
is.
think he put it to good use as well, destroying 3 artifacts every time he used it at the very least.
Yep. Um, but yeah, a lot of very interesting games. Obviously, Fave able to kind of flood out that board uh, very significantly, which versus a deck like Fraud can't answer it super easily.
Yeah, Fraud has some C, but as you can see, it's only 10, and even then, the C is stuff that doesn't deal with shells to start with, but
No,
also not really with bigger creatures. So they couldn't really keep up with the board at all. And I think Sif made the brilliant play that as soon as he got the puzzling trinket out, he just didn't generate any ember. He didn't let Fraud steal anything. He
just
just made
draw.
sure to draw, yeah, just set up the cycle, set up the engine basically, and that's how. Well, I think he won 2 games.
And I'm
Yeah,
back. Yeah,
welcome
it was
back.
interesting to see. I think also Sheep didn't have the best draw. Uh,
No, I was we were
Yeah,
I was in the call actually with him for game
that was
part
pretty
of game
cool.
one, but
Yeah, yeah.
game two and three. Um, and yeah, you can kind of tell by Sheep's voice that the draws did not really go his way in that last game that he
Yeah,
played.
yeah.
yeah. So Faith moves on to the next round, and now we have our first matchup. Um, Again, we're pretty proud of these visuals, and Riku did an awesome job. And we have some statistics for the earlier games that were played this week, but not for, let's say, the games that were played like 3, 4 hours ago. So Sith of Akmar will continue to fight another day versus Matza. Um, and the stats we chosen to highlight are the total number of keys. So Civ made 7 keys in favor of him and 5 against. Obviously, you have to play 3 games to get to 7. So it was a 2-2-1 win for him. But a very interesting stat here, and this is quite high. I've seen the other ones. The keys checked per turn. So every other turn almost, Civ is putting himself at check. It's pretty significant, I think.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
think Mats's deck likes that because,
yeah.
right?
Being able to TMTP or being able to brand
Yeah,
life from a life or do some kind of
Matza
shenanigans
likes
around that.
likes Amber being there. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
or just stall with the lash. I think he has a lot of tools to increase key cost or just steal 1 or 2 ember to keep them off.
yeah, yeah,
And I think the Matsu's deck also has quite a few tools for Faith, so it's kind of a question if Faith can set up the engine quick enough because Matsu does have that poltergeist that he can put to good use. He does have a neutron shark as well, where he can wipe several
yeah,
artifacts at the same time.
yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think
and you
an
could see
unlocked
that. Oh,
gateway.
sorry.
You
Go
get
ahead.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
are you saying, Sandy?
you could see with the artifact control score that there is no shortage of answer with for
No, not at
artifacts.
all. No. And with the three sandhoppers and the puzzling trinket, you want that R. So, at first glance, not an obvious favorite. Interesting matchup, definitely.
That's also what I thought of Pink Fraud. I thought Pink Fraud had it in the bag with that EMP blast, and they still pulled it off.
Yeah,
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 well,
the flood got to him.
yeah. So our first new matchup. Um, so moving on to Mulgogi versus Bamboo, also one that was played recently. I was able to watch part of it, and the world champ versus Mulgogi, you'd probably be quaking in your boots um, or when you go into this match. But surprisingly, it was very close, wasn't it?
It sure was, yeah. Bulgogi was actually very humble about it, saying, I have this great opportunity to play against the world
Hmm.
champion, so that was amazing to hear. And then game one pretty much went as you would expect from me. It set up the
Yeah.
Geistoid loop really quickly, and it just kind of blew Mogogi out of the water immediately. It was a really quick 1-0, but then Mulgogi adapted, and he played Recklessness turn one to get rid of those Geistoid key pieces immediately. And I think he hit
Oh,
like a junk restoration in here
oh, that's
somewhere.
great. That's great.
Oh
And then he
wow.
has
Yeah.
two singing scythes, and he got rid of those pieces. So that's how he swung the second game. And in the third game, it got really close as well.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was able to manage to purge a few of those pieces, but he barely fell short.
I think there was
Uh,
one key turn where he chose to play Memorialize. Maybe could have gone into Starlines. Not sure if
Yeah.
that would have changed it. Sandy, what are your thoughts about this match?
yeah. So unfortunately, I was not able to watch this matchup
Okay. Yeah.
take place. I was a little sleepy. Um, but yeah, there is a lot of disruption in Mulgogi's deck, but it's very dependent on how fast it can get there.
Yeah. So
But
Bamboo took this one.
literal world champ difference, I think.
World champ. Yeah. So I think a lot of people probably predicted this outcome. Um, and then
But
we
it was
go.
way closer than
It
you
was
could
it
have
was
predicted.
way closer.
It's
It was
Yeah.
way
really
closer.
close.
I think Riku must have been sweating maybe even more than Bamboo. Right. So then Harmed versus Magic Duck. Um, I had the pleasure of casting this game, and it was a pleasure for sure. Um, this was very, 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 very close. Harmed. What were your short recap of this one?
Oof, short. Hmm. No, game one, I thought I had in the bag. I was 2-0 ahead in keys, and I think I made some really small mistakes, but also Magic Duck just never gave up. He got
Hmm.
some really good key pieces, and he key cheated in the end with the key frog. So he actually stole that game one from me, which I was quite upset about, but I had to regain my composure. Game two, As just did what As does best, which is key cheat a lot. And I think I forged key for like three,
Yeah.
four, 5 Ember, and that's it. And then game three was really close, like really close. I tried to bait that Desania that I had a really strong suspicion that he had in the archives, which turned out to be true in the end. So I just comboed out with the Mars and never gave him an option to use it.
Yeah, so Wildcard decks are straightforward to play, but definitely not in this game, right? Because there's a Desania and the Pester Grove and a lot of eddies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tax
I
and
effects.
yeah, yeah,
the Pester Grove is actually the main piece. It's not Desania.
yeah,
Like
yeah. The
that
Pester
was
Grove
so
is
annoying.
the most annoying one, right? And
Yeah,
obviously I streamed it myself, but I highly recommend watching it back. It was co-casted with Sydney. She knows the deck from Roy Magic Duck very well, so we were both super invested in the game. There's a post-match interview with both Roy and Harmed. Um, yeah, it'll be a nice viewing experience. But yeah, Harmed, you took this game 2-1 after
I was
being
very
zero
happy.
one down, right?
Yeah.
Um, so the next matchup is our very own Harmed versus the world champ, Bamboo. Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one because I also saw the stream where Bamboo played Riku and they played 10 matches of Ass versus Knee, and I think it ended up 7-3s in Ass's favor. But I was chatting with Riku a little bit earlier this week, and he still thinks Knee is favored. So that's going to be
Mm,
really close.
yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a tight game for sure. I think both decks wanna. They're
Just do their
doing.
own thing.
Yeah, they're doing their own thing. So it's very much like
Yeah.
it's not going to be like, oh, who interacts with who or whatever.
No.
Like Bamboo, she's not going to be able to interact with your combo. Harmed and Harmed, you're probably not going to be able to interact with her combo as much. So it'll be whoever fires their combo first, whoever can burst
Yeah.
as quick as possible, and so that'll be a lot of what that
Yeah,
matchup
so
comes
and
down
so
to.
these statistics here, the 7 keys in favor, 5 against, and 4.16 ember per turn, um, might be a bit more relevant in this case, but honestly, it's all about the key abduction and the cards per turn, the cycling, right? Um, so
It's
yeah,
definitely not the keys checked per turn because that
no,
doesn't matter.
it doesn't
No.
matter at all. Not in this matchup, no, for sure.
Definitely not. Yeah, and after the first one against Magic Duck, this is a really rough second one. So
Yeah.
curious
Yeah.
to see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah. So here we have the deck statistics lined up against, but again, they're pretty much doing their own game plan. Nee is planning to go infinite at one point, key cheat with the active charge, return to rubble, clear the board. You don't really care about the board, so but more or less the return to rubble is also to get your cards back into your
Yep.
draw, to draw them again. Um, so yeah, let's see. Interesting one.
Time to start practicing.
Right. So then we're now moving on to the bottom left bracket. We have the
Yes.
top left and now the bottom left. Shaka versus who's that?
I
Who
wonder
that?
who that person is. Who are they?
Yeah. Um, Sunny, you
Yeah.
casted this match.
I had the pleasure of casting this, and oh wow. This is a very, very cool set. This is a 2 game set, and yeah, I there was a lot of very, very like important things that happened even early. I know in game 1, a turn 1 recklessness from you ended up discarding your incarnation pod, purging your
Oh
final
man.
refrain, and you were able to swing it and come back into this match. I know both games, especially the Cursed Tomb, put in a
Yep.
lot of work
Yep.
preventing Shaka from utilizing his Rule 6
Insane
combo.
rule of sixes. Yeah.
Yeah, Talent Scout pull up 6, obviously doing a lot of work. But Shaka didn't make it a close match either. He was holding on with that Portal Monster in game 2
Oh, that was
multiple
something.
turns in a row.
Harm and I practiced this match obviously, and I didn't know that the portal monster could come back, and I
Yep.
didn't immediately know exactly the right way to deal with it. But I kind of knew like, okay, if he does go into Mars, he has to flip, and he can't flip, so I can leave it alive. So it does go back to his archive and give him the chance to play it again and play some Macedon. Or so it was kind of like, when do I make him shuffle
Yeah.
and get him off of check. But yeah, very very happy with that win. Was not an easy opponent
No.
at all.
No, not
Um,
Yeah.
at all.
I was not
Shaka.
favored according to the predictions, so obviously I voted for myself. So in the
Yeah.
prediction game, let's go. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. And
But yeah,
then
very cool match.
thank you very much. Then the other matchup here. This was a lot more one-sided and over quickly, wasn't it?
Yes. Yes. It very much was.
I think even the second game was like 2 turns only.
It was a 2 turn scenario. Yeah, Bandola did Bandola things. Benefactor, Nova's an amazing player. Benefactor, one of the best Amber Skies decks at the moment. Um, did just doesn't have an answer for what Bandola wants to do. So Mike was able to go basically just 2 games unchecked.
Yeah.
Witch Queen. I think the second game was a turn 2 Witch Queen Rule 6.
And was it
Which is
just a
just
concede from there, or did they play it out?
it was a concession at that
Yeah.
point. Yeah,
Like,
understandably,
yeah.
there's
Of
Yeah.
course.
no catch up that
No.
Nova can do. Um, but yeah, Bandola when it gets its early combo, it is a nightmare
Yeah,
to
indeed.
Are you
interact with.
listening, Tom?
I,
If it
I,
gets this
I, I
combo
am
early,
listening. I'm practicing this matchup, and
Yeah,
sometimes I'm just like, right, so I
yeah.
just lose on turn two now? Okay, well,
Yep, I've had the I guess
yeah,
we could say the pleasure of facing Mike and testing this matchup with multiple of my decks, and
very fun,
yeah,
very fun.
it is a very tricky matchup to play into.
So,
so
so,
how do you feel going into the match, Tom?
uh, if it was a judo match, I think I'd be okay, but it's not. So we both have 2 zeros. Mike obviously goes 6-1, generates a lot more amber per turn, but the statistics are maybe a bit skewed because of the concede. So read into it what you will. Um, it's a very interesting matchup. It's not one that Bandola definitely is going to win. Um, there is a way for me to definitely make it very challenging for Bandola to win, but
Yes.
everything has to line up. So I feel like I have to play things near to perfect where
Yep.
Mike can allow some small mistakes and
Mhm.
still win.
Mike
So
has a little bit more leniency when it
yeah,
comes to
yeah.
combo firing. Obviously, can
J-
take things a little slower, but
yeah,
also has that
exactly.
Bio
Yeah,
solid full mile lockout that you can do.
it's not amazing. And J. Philip says the best trick versus Medola is a well cut that puts the witches on the end of the deck. Agreed.
And there you go. That's all
Yeah.
you have to do.
Yeah. So this is the matchup, right? So indeed with maybe Talent Scout, then Brio, Kaup, and there are some ways that the recklessness, the market fluctuation to get rid of the key cards. There are ways, but it's going to be a challenge for sure.
Yep.
Right. Also in this bottom left bracket, it's Vargas versus Captain Crispy. Any of you had the pleasure to watch this game?
I did watch it, and it's basically Vodka versus Vodka, and it's exactly as you would
Yeah.
expect it goes. So the one who
Cinedor,
mills just a
sorry.
bit quicker.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Cinedor is not a Wadka deck. It is a
Oh,
Mars Rule
really?
6.
Then
Yeah.
it's been a few days. Have you watched it?
You're okay. I did not, but I've had the pleasure of playing against Isaac Vargas, and well, not Vargas, but Sydney was playing Isaac at Roseville, and then I've also seen Cinedor played a lot. Um, and it's one of the coolest Mars Roll 6 decks because it also has, I believe, a Mars like Phantom Juggernaut,
Ah,
which can
it
return
does.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
there's
yeah.
some really cool Mars Roll 6 that it can do. Um,
And with
but
the island, the Misfit Toys,
yes, the island can go went completely unchecked
yeah,
because
yeah,
Vargas has no
because
answer
there's
for it.
no artifact control, so you just put
Hmm.
the but yeah, Vargas did take the game, um, and I think it was it. Let me check that Vargas went 2-0
Yeah.
in this game. Um,
I think it just got to a situation where it could pull off the key abduction and then
just
just play
yeah,
targets to re-archive it, and then it's just a free key every turn.
Yep.
yeah, yeah, nothing you can do.
And this is the
And
Vodka versus Vodka I got
this was
completely
the word.
confused.
Yeah, exactly. I think also a 2-0 game. And in the preview stream, we looked at this and we're like, Boo is going to be a key card in this game. And it was 100% because GJ managed to just get haunted faster. And that really throws a wrench into the other Vodka's matchup plans. And the two near future lenses, it's just too fast. Um, were you guys surprised by the outcome of a 2-0 for GJ, or was
Not
it
entirely, actually. I think if you're looking in a bubble, like matchup specifically, I think PJ's deck painted AI is a better wins key abduction list. If you're strictly talking about the combo,
right?
Hayes
Right.
is a better all arounder.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
but when playing on a key abduction versus key abduction thing, the double target Y is a huge deal. And being able to boo to start, you know,
Mm.
just put all of your cards in your discard immediately.
Yeah.
key abduction or
And
winds of death key
and
abduction.
in our chat, Astron says it's more than just the World Cup. It's also Starline's Rule of Six plus Mars Rule of Six.
Yeah,
Um, and we just didn't get time to showcase that on the stream. And
he wasn't able to fire it. Yeah.
no, so 2-0 to GJ, which leads us to the next matchup, where we have complete stats. Woo!
Wow.
Wow.
Vargas versus GJ.
And
Both.
again, vodka versus vodka.
You can see it with the
Incredible.
0.14 and the 0.13 keys checked per turn. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Don't even.
don't push for those keys, right? It doesn't matter because you're just cheating. There's another stat, key cheats per turn, which Riku decided was a bit weird, but in this matchup it might be super relevant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cards per turn, GJ more, so it seems like either the games went on longer for Vargas, but it seems like GJ has a bit of a faster turnover of cards, which would sound like he gets haunted faster, which would sound
Yes.
like that's an advantage in the Wodka versus Wodka, right?
Yeah, this will come down to how fast the Wadka is going to come down. I've played against Isaac Bean Watson. The deck, it's a Winds of Death key abduction deck, but it's more of a tempo list. It doesn't have like the target wise or anything like that that can fire on. So being able to constantly recur the key abductions, go key abduction, next turn key abduction, next turn key abduction is such an important thing that Painted AI is able to do that may be able to take it kind of over the
Yeah,
edge in this matchup, or take GJ over the edge here in this matchup. But it, again, depends on who gets their combo faster.
Yeah, and then GJ is again the pure vodka list
yeah.
where Isaac has more tools, and maybe that recklessness will actually come in handy if you manage to get rid of that key abduction, the target at the right time, but that's
You
more
need
up
to
to
get rid
chance.
of 3 cards.
Hey, it happens. We've seen it with Mogogi
Yeah,
versus
yeah, yeah.
Bamboo. They got some great hits.
Astron
Oh yeah,
says players need to start playing more Till the Earth. Well, I know one deck that has Till the Earth and is facing a Wodka deck. Isn't it harmed?
I wouldn't know what you're talking about.
You wanna no no or oh, okay. So yeah, so then that was the bottom left of the bracket. We're now moving to the top right. Grishhammer, Easy Galena. Um, in the preview, I thought Easy Galena's favored TOC because corner the market. If you have a board full of Katina Fiends and the creature control wasn't that great, um, you are not super unhappy. But
yeah,
as the game went along and I was watching it, the draws didn't line up for Easy Galena. The draws did line up for Grishhammer. Um, and yeah, what happened from there, Sunny?
yeah. So Gyarada, obviously, and if you look at the key images here, it's missing a notable part, which is the corner of the market is Geistoid enhanced,
Yes, yes,
which
it is.
means this is a permanent lockout once it gets the combo online.
Yeah,
The battle is getting haunted for Gyarado being able to start the lockout from going on. But notably, there were a lot of turns where Galena had a board built, but Grish
yeah.
took an off turn and de-escalations to kill um, all the board out and still corner the market. So taking one turn off. Um, but yeah, from is Grishhammer and Galena are
So
saying
so
in chat.
so both are in the chat indeed. Yeah. So you couldn't
Yeah,
win if Jesus would have helped me.
the game
Yeah.
three was very very favored
Yeah.
on the side of
Yeah.
Grish. Very good draws, which is Keyforge. Sometimes you draw better cards, sometimes you don't draw better cards. So
And also
Yeah.
just really well played, like that de-escalation with the corner of the market together. And then you have to spend one turn again to
Yeah.
put all the tokens on the board, and then you just archive it and do it again. Like, in hindsight, it would have actually been not really
Yeah.
a close matchup, but it was hard to see.
So Cap Marrow, welcome in the chat, and Grishhammer. Some decks or villains shouldn't be completed with the pilot, but so I think uh, this deck is very very scary. I was hoping the TOC would take it out. Maybe it was wishful thinking on my part,
yeah,
um, and it just didn't happen. So yeah, um, we have a win for Grishhammer.
Basically,
Unfortunately.
blue shelled every other turn. I love that.
Yeah. The number of AC playing saying hashtag draw better.
Just draw better cards.
Yeah. So then the next matchup here. This was at the same time as I think either Harmed was playing
It
Magic
was
Duck
my
or
match.
yeah, and then
Yeah,
I think there were there were some comments in the chat saying like red line rotation number 3,400 and whatever was played.
and I remember the game started 10 minutes before my match, and then I started to play my match. I came back and they were still playing, and it still took like half an hour more.
Yeah, but very interesting match. Orion Cast did also recommend going back. Astron says one of the most enjoyable games of high-level Keyforge I've seen. So
Oh,
yeah, big compliments there from for Holy Stew and Willie. Only one can be victorious, however, and sad to see our Taiwanese player go and Holy Stew, our Italian player, continue on to the next round. Um, yeah, which leads up to this matchup. Grishhammer versus Holy Stew. Unfortunately, we didn't get all the stats for all the decks yet. We will. Don't worry about it. Snoopy's doing a lot of work. He has the weekend off with his family, obviously more important. And also, I couldn't get all the things ready, but we're trying our best. But yeah, 8 out of keys against 4, 2-1. Slightly less cards per turn than the wild cards we've seen. Amber per turn, decent and checking every other third turn. But again, this is not the main thing. It's trying to lock out
yeah,
your opponent. Does
yeah.
uh, popular popular? I want to be popular. Does it have any tools to deal with?
It has a clipped wings.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that
so
is the one main thing. So clipped wings is going to be a key player here in this matchup, being able to potentially purge this the corner of the market or one of the in here somewheres.
yeah,
That is a almost a must. Besides that, it's going to come down to how fast, how much amber
I
Holy Stew can
yeah,
make amber.
it's a lot of expected amber, but the clipped wings, I don't think it matters unless you get it early and you
Gotta hit it.
randomly purge it from hand. Because
Mhm.
if it's in the archives, you're already done and dusted, right? And
Yeah,
easy, Galena, I'm gonna trust you on this one. I'm gonna update my predictions. I'm gonna, and this one, I think I agree with you. This is
yeah.
not looking good for Popular, but we've been surprised before. Um,
I think there are ways, yeah. If
there
you
are ways.
happen to play Corner the Market on an Aquadon turn instead of a Geistoid, then there might be a way.
Yeah,
Or if
Mhm.
you try to archive it because you've played it earlier and then it's in your archives, it is susceptible to that Clipped Wings being able to shuffle it back into your deck. So there might be some ways.
Yeah,
yeah. On to the next one. We had Ewok versus Astron. Um,
yeah,
That deck looks
also,
familiar.
yeah. Both these
Kohan
decks look very
versus
familiar.
Kuch. Kovan versus Cook. Kovan
Yep.
Cook. Hey, that's me. Yeah, that's you, Astron. Why did you
Yeah.
let Chet know what happened in this game? You were not feeling too great, but you went for it anyway. And you casted another game afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, this I will speak a lot on this match because this was I will say no bias. This was the match that I actually wanted to cast and spectate the most.
Why?
Um, well, got two amazing players, got two amazing decks. No, one of those may be mine. But no, this was a pleasure to watch. If we're talking about matches to go back and watch, this is one of them. This if you look at the stats and you look at how the decks pair like one on one if you compare them,
Yeah.
this looks like a matchup where Cook just kind of takes over wins. You see the creature control stat in Kovan, but both of these games were extremely tight. It came down to in game one a spooky charge on the
Yeah.
last turn
On
and
a
then in game
reclaimed or
two,
something, right? To
it was off
reclaim
of it
two
was a
amber. Yeah.
reclaimed to hit a arcane transmitter
With
into a
4 amber
Suicune.
or something. It's
Yeah, it's
something
like some
ridiculous. Yeah.
yeah, and then game two, there was unfortunately an early misplay from Ewok,
Oh,
missed 2 amber
with
off
the
of a
dust
sea
stamp
lion stab.
searing. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
But it would have, if that happened, that would have been a freedom to be key cheat on game in the second
Yeah,
game on the last
right.
turn.
Oh,
But
So
not
very,
completely though,
very
because they would have forged for 12 with the double Camelani on board. So
potentially, yes.
it
mm.
would have changed the whole match. And
You
I was
guys,
chatting with Astron afterwards,
yeah.
and he convinced me that even then he would have won it.
Yeah.
So there's this butterfly effect, right? So we can't really know what this
Don't know
two
exactly.
amber would have done. The end result stays whatever it is, and Astron took this game. Why are there so many Vietnamese decks? Well, I have a theory here, and I'm just gonna try
Riku's really good at opening decks, and I
that.
like buying decks from Riku, it
Yeah.
turns out.
Now, so I think Riku opens a lot of decks, and then when you search for decks in the UK, sometimes you can't find a buyer or whatever, but all Vietnamese decks somehow link back to Riku. So you find a Vietnamese deck, chances are you can buy it. You find an American deck, chances are it's in the hands of some random person, not even the OK. So that's my theory. But also him bribing GG to change the algorithm is definitely viable.
Yeah.
All right. Where are we in the slideshow, guys? Sorry, guys. It's yes. Here we go. Cat Marrow versus Unfathomable. Um,
We're not talking about the fish here.
we're not talking about the fish. No, we're talking about the player Unfathomable. Two
Yeah.
great players. Riku is the kingpin of Keyforge in Vietnam, yeah, for sure. And it's he says it's not rigged, but you can see soon that it's definitely not rigged. But this game, I did not see it actually. Did any of you get to see it?
No, unfortunately not. Armed,
I,
did
I
you?
I watched it back this morning during
Ah,
breakfast,
great.
and I had my bets on Dexter. Let's call him Dexter.
Sure,
Yeah.
that's easier.
uh, because I thought he would just outrush the combo deck before it got to the combo. I think there
Yeah.
was like on the left deck there's one Xylo in there, one Xib double Rebel, I believe,
Yes. Yeah.
and not that many ways to mill. So I thought, okay, it's gonna take a while to get to the combo, and Dexter's gonna outrush, which happened in one of the games. But Cat Marrow played Till the Earth to amazing effects, to be honest.
Yes.
So Astron,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that was just incredible.
And yeah, Greg, I will say Greg is a very recent. This was actually opened at celebrations for the Open, or not the Open, but for
Mm,
the Last Chance.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and Catmaro playing it too very well gamed
that's a
here.
very nice pool. So,
Yes. Yeah.
so Catmaro takes this game, and it was a let's see, it was a 2-1.
2-1, I believe.
Two
Yeah.
Yes.
to one. Yeah. So unfortunately, we ran out of Photoshop skills by Riku and time. Sleep deprivation kicked in, so we make do. But again, the full statistics will get you when we have them. So Catmarrow versus Astron. Um, so hmm.
We have
This
Till
is
the Earth
really tough.
versus Till the Earth. It's gonna be very tilly here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
I
be
But
mean, in the
honest.
yeah,
end, it's gonna come down to some key pieces coming out early, probably, right? So that
right.
beanstalk is
Um
gonna be key. The combo, of
Beans.
course. Like,
Yeah.
Notably, though, there is a mimicry in Greg. So a lot of the
yeah,
tools
Oh.
that Astron may have in Cook, guess what? Catmaro, she's gonna possibly have those too.
yeah, I'm gonna
So
steal that spooky charge.
yeah, the
Yeah, yeah,
spooky charge
yeah.
can be
Oh,
taken, or you
that's
have,
oof.
the most notably the reclaimed by nature can be mimicry.
Right.
So and there's
Yeah,
no
Yeah.
way in Cook besides Till the Earth to permanently answer that mimicry. That is going to be a key card here in this matchup, and the double multi-dimensional rescue to allow the cycling of that mimicry to play it again multiple times. It's going to give Camo and her deck Greg a lot of
Spooky
answers.
chart. Yeah,
This
yeah,
is going to be I believe this will be a very close matchup.
yeah.
There's
yeah.
also, compared to Astron's first matchup when he was playing
Oh, sorry, I moved
against
one.
Koven, um, there's a lot of creature control answers in Greg compared
Yeah, one to
to Kovan.
watch for sure. One to
Yes,
watch.
this is one to watch.
Yeah.
I'm very hyped for this match.
Yes.
You can't
Another
tell by my
one,
voice.
another one that you should have watched if you had a half a day.
Yeah, you got like 2 hours thinking.
Is such a grindy match, honestly, and there were some requests about the JDG thinking count in this match. But yeah, very similar decks. But beforehand, in the previous stream, we are like, okay, there's some artifact control on JDG, which could be actually the turning point. Fudgenator says put it on 2 times speed. you should
Yeah.
de- you should definitely do that. It was just 2 games, was it?
It was just 2 games, yeah.
Just 2 games, yeah.
Wow.
So unfortunate for Nuncio. JDG took this one. Again, watch it if you have half a day to spare.
I'll
Um,
definitely watch
Yeah.
it back
but
on two
It
times
there,
speed.
was it
it's a
was
very
very
interesting game. Very
it
interesting.
was
I
so cool to watch,
Yeah,
I will say.
yeah, because there are a lot of tiny things that you can do differently. A lot of cards being purged. Hold the line. Key role in this. Watch it back, honestly.
So
Um,
many macro
so
decisions.
many, so many small decisions that have big impact later in the game. Then we have the Wookiee versus Rodion. Um,
Yeah,
anyone
I
watch
watched
this
this
one?
one
You did?
as well this morning. Yeah. Um, and I think now I'm starting to doubt, was it 2-0 or 2-1?
Two
But
one,
Ariel got it. Yeah,
2-1.
2-1.
Two,
Yeah.
one, indeed. Yes.
Rodion got game 1 in a set.
And basically, it kept coming down to either that Hellafest or Bryozark, but Arya just had too many answers with the
Yeah.
Plan 10, some other board wipes, so it couldn't
Plan
just
10 is
keep.
amazing versus Brio, honestly.
And it's so
Yes.
annoying against Winds of Exchange because you just
Yeah.
give them back one creature at a time of a house they just used.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, also I think I watched it as I was waking up, so did I watch it? I don't know. Um, very cool to see the Hellafest doing work, but then indeed the counter. I think there was a judge question at one point. If I destroy all of them at the same time, how did the no, the destroy triggers are there. they
The
they go
Harmal, yeah.
they go back to the hand. Yeah, indeed. So
And in
uh,
the end, I felt like it came down to the amount of tokens that might or might not have gotten out of control, and then the membership
yep,
drives. But
yep,
most of the
yep,
membership drives were only played for 1 or 2 Ember, which is
yeah.
just not enough.
So
Yeah.
that comes to our new matchup, the Wookiee versus JDG. I looked at this as like, is that the same picture profile? No, they just have a very similar.
Both
They're
at
setting,
US Nationals. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
they're standing at exactly the same spot. Yeah.
exactly.
Yep.
So,
It's the same playmat too, but you could tell JDG's is upside down here.
so we
Um,
have our Mass Mutation versus Grim Reminder.
yeah.
I mean,
Ooh, this is
I see
interesting.
Eden's jar and I see 4 in here somewhere without artifact control.
No.
Yeah. So
Might be
yeah,
key.
this is gonna be, I think, a lot closer than kind of
Mm,
what you'll
I
see. I think,
wow. I want to be JDG here.
yeah,
Sure.
having the answers,
Yeah.
having the tools to deal with, you know, the in here somewhere is being able to purge them potentially with the Infernus. Eaton's jar, like there's so many different things though to pick here.
No,
It's
there's
not
only one.
there's well, there's in here some, but there's also it can do Mars Rule 6.
Right. Right.
So
Okay. Well,
it's
it
gonna,
depends. It just depends on the order where you're getting your
yes,
furnace and your jar. Right.
yep,
But I think if this doesn't, if this goes past turn 6, my bet is that the
it's gonna do
yeah,
Vakari.
yeah,
Well,
indeed.
it depends if the board gets out of control because a sea of 11 is also not too much against GR. So
True.
you never know. If there's like a good Winds of Death that they can pull off to get the Mars
Yeah,
combo back in the archives,
Yeah.
that might be really difficult.
But then if it gets late, then Vakari can roll 6, like
that's right.
everything in
Yeah,
Starlines.
yeah.
Yep.
It is a matchup where choosing to go first seems pretty clear. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So I think there is only one set of 2 matches left where we will get one more matchup, and then we have the full bracket covered. I predicted this game correctly. I'm sorry to
You did?
say, I
Wow.
did.
Yeah.
So you backstabbed Rico.
I did. I totally backstabbed him. There was a lot of nice banter. So everyone that played knows that there's a channel for each matchup, and the shots fired in Riku versus Lorenzo,
Oh my gosh, the sass.
the
It
trash
was so
talking.
sassy in there.
Ooh, it was it was something else, and we're thinking about will we bring this to the people or what will we do? Because I think it would have been fun to watch. It would be like that the weigh-in where they're both staring at each other and just
Yeah.
you know. Um, but yeah, the match it went a little bit under the radar. I wasn't able to commentate it. I put the stream on. There will be
And it just
a VOD.
started out of nowhere.
It started
Like it
out of
started
nowhere.
half an
Yeah.
hour earlier. I was very happy that you put it on stream, so I could still watch
Yeah.
it. To be honest,
Yeah. Yeah.
even though it was a bit quiet. And wow, what a match! This was truly high level Keyforge. So there's many matches to watch back, and this is also definitely one
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you lack some context of what's in the discard pile or maybe some rationale of the commentators that are thinking along, but there will be probably a video from Riku commentating on it. I think, um, don't pin me on it, but at least the plain replay will be there somewhere. Um, the outcome was that our Emperor
One,
is
two,
out of the tournament.
yeah.
Um,
The Emperor has fallen. Long
yeah,
live the king.
yeah, indeed. Um, surprise to some, um, very obvious prediction to others, some masterminds.
I'm gonna join you on that prediction train. I did predict this matchup correctly
Uh,
as well.
yeah,
Sorry, Riku.
yeah. But yeah, that leaves us only one match in round one to go through, and that matchup was Benji versus Dorian, the two prodigies. Um,
Yeah,
I
talking about
yeah,
one-sided matchups, this was also one of them,
yeah.
unfortunately.
What happened?
The suzerain, I didn't catch the beginning of the first match, but when I joined, they were so far ahead. It was 2-0 keys, and I believe Dorian might not even have forged a key in that first round
Really? Wow.
because the suzerain already went through the entire deck and then got the Mars rule of 6
It's
combos
so
after.
fast, right?
It's
And
really fast, it's really consistent, and it didn't even need the islands in
but
the end.
the suzerain doesn't need a board, or right?
I think it creates a little bit of a board, and it has one main source of C, which is War of the Worlds. But
Right.
there's a ton of ways to recur that because I think there's one target, but there might be two, and there's three Mehmets to also get that War of the Worlds at some point back into the archives, and he recurred it several times, also with the in here somewhere, and that was key in this matchup.
So this was another 2-0 match. I think I'm gonna have to watch this back a bit more when I don't have two kids jumping around me, going crazy. Um, but yeah, only one of those prodigies can move on. And sorry for Dorian that he's out, but Benji. And again, I'm so impressed with Benji. Honestly, I think he might be turning 14. I think you were in the chat, Benji. Let me know if that's. But great job. And your next matchup will be
Oof,
versus
this
Lorenzo.
is rough.
Ooh.
I would not want to be Benji in this situation, to be honest. With Lorenzo having double red line rotation and Desania,
Mm.
oof,
A lot of
Yeah, yeah.
answers.
And Eddie,
that's a lot of answers.
Cease Forge can be dealt with because there is R. Um, so sometimes when you don't have any R, Cease Forge is just like, okay, if I get to two keys, I just pretty much gonna win. Um, but this case, it can be dealt with. I don't know what the R is in Record Keeper. Um, but 2.3 suggests an Reclaim by Nature. Maybe one if someone in chat knows or
Reclaimed is not in tokens, but Mock
ah,
is. If
right,
you're good
Mock.
Mock,
And the
I will check
Sulking
though.
Saboteurs, I think there's two of them,
Right, right, right.
which is if you
Also,
forge one of the random color of keys, which I forgot right now, then you can destroy an
mm,
Yeah,
archive.
it's Mock double Sab,
okay, so Mock is the one that actually is relevant here.
but
Uh,
with a Nature's Call too, it can bounce that back into hand
oh,
and
so you
destroy
can even get
multiple
rid of the
artifacts in a
island
turn.
and the Seas Forge, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, Nature's Call will be pretty pivotal here,
Yeah,
allowing to bounce some of the tokens potentially if a key piece gets tokenized.
yeah. Very
Lorenzo will be able
important,
to
very
return that back
important.
to hand. Yeah.
Right. So that was all of our matches. Um, we will go back to the bracket, don't worry. But I made a small. I'm not as good at Photoshop or whatever, and I didn't have a lot of time. But these are all the sets that were there. And
It's
sorry,
exactly 50-50, right?
uh,
Yeah, it's play Grim Reminders or you don't.
oh, let me.
Oh,
I was just going to move Sunday out of the way a little bit
Well, what
here.
did I do?
No, you were in front of Kota.
that one
So
Coda deck in there.
one
I
Kota
am
deck,
Paul
and
Archon.
you were in front of it. So the next slide will show you how these sets did. Boom.
There goes the Coda. Oh,
There
There
goes
goes
the
the
Coda.
code.
There goes a lot of Amber
A
Skies too.
lot of Ember Skies. So one, two, three, four Ember Skies gone. One,
6
two,
Grim
three, four,
Reminders.
five, six Grim Reminders.
it's more than 50% now, the Grim
So
Reminders.
tokens of change was reduced by 75%.
Wow.
And Coda was gone. So I think stats wise, AOA is the best set, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yes, yes.
100% win rate, pretty
It's
much.
actually Dark Tidings.
and then it's actually winds of exchange and mass mutation with a 50%. No,
GR is
GR
more.
GR first, and then winds of exchange and mass mutation. Amber skies is then the next one, and then TOC. Um, we have it a little bit more in a different way to consume it. Um, so the deck stats on the right, let's focus on that first. So deck stats, same set matches excluded. And then below there is deck stats, same set matches included. So let's go to the included one first. Coda, 0%.
Yeah.
So the game percentage and match percentage, right? So those are two different things. It lost the match, so 0%. 100% on AOA. This was a lot
Wow.
easier if we pulled this one up to look at. So GR is at 62%, then MMO at 50, and Amber Skies.
I mean, that's not really fair because Mass Mutation only played against Mass Mutation, right?
That is true. Yeah.
Sure.
But this also proves that AOA is the best set ever made and that you
Right?
need to buy a $15
Yeah,
deck.
that's all you need to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, because DT is not even showing up on this list. That's
Right. It's so strong. Everyone came to like a conclusion before. It was like a gentleman's agreement. Like
yeah.
if we bring DT, like it's gonna be a bad time
But
for the others.
the GR game percentage out of set is 71%.
Wow.
That's pretty big, isn't it? As we'll go through the tournament, we'll get more of these, and I think when you exclude sets, and Algernon, thank you very much for putting this together. Uh, it's really interesting to see this. But then
But I feel like people are already paying attention to the left side, right?
yes,
I see a
I
lot
was
of him
gonna
in the
say
chat.
going to the left. The left side is, and I think, don't pin me on it. I might be completely wrong, but this is what I got from the sheet. This is the predictions game current ranking. So Massimo must have been also voting for Lorenzo, right? Going with 30 points. How do you get the points? I have to apologize for not knowing what I'm talking about if I were to say something. I can imagine that as we go along further in the tournament, that's what I heard, there are more points for each match to be gained. So if you are like Sunday, now only at a meager 19 points,
I did hear. I'm not on that list. What are you talking about? I think you're crazy.
you can definitely still pip harmed with 2 points difference. It's just
That is
maybe
true. Yeah, watch out,
one
Harmed. I'm coming
one
after
prediction.
you.
The
You're at
only one
21 points.
The only one has a clear lead right now is Massimo, and everyone is still hot on the heels of everyone.
We live in
Lord
Massimo's
Judo
world.
is in the top five. Wow, he must be brilliant. Um,
It's rigged. It has to be rigged.
so yeah, there will be new prediction polls coming up. Riku is handling that, but let the guy have some sleep. He's done so much. A lot of work has gone into this. This tournament, and also with the recap stream I'm also doing a lot of prep, and we can't get everything there, but we try our best. Another fun um, overview, and let me try to position us
Oh, hello. I'm next to my team now.
yeah,
Hey,
in a
hey, welcome
way,
to
Nice.
Future Sight, Judo.
yeah, that makes sense a little bit. There you
Wow.
go. So
There we
hey
go.
All planned.
so Repout has the most, or had, we'll see, had the most teammates in here. So pretty much everyone that has a logo behind their name is on the team. Manchester something is for GJ. I
Manchester Mavericks.
thank you very much. I didn't get the logo yet, and Bota from Nuncio. I also didn't get the logo. Yes, it's on the OK, but if you want 20 by 20 pixels, um, yeah, it doesn't look very nice. So forgive me for not getting all of the logos, and the people on the right do not have a team. I think Bamboo might have been on D20. But anyway, Repout represented with one, two, three, four, five people. Archon's Corner with four, followed by Future Side with three. And then there's a couple of twos with No Name, AFK, Netherforge Lions, ABR, a couple with one, Hamburg Atlanteans, Bootcamp X, Sloppy Lab Work, Bandang, I think is Mulgogi's team, the Manchester Mavericks, Bota, Nuncio, and a couple solo players. So when I hit the next slide, let's see what happens. Some teams are
Holy.
decimated. Um,
No
so
name is no team.
no
It's gone.
name, no name is gone.
ABR is
All
gone. Wow.
ABR is gone. Archon's Corner, only the Wookiee is still standing. Um, yeah, Future Sight's still intact. Netherforge Line's still intact. Um, yeah, the sloppy lab work in the boot camp, Hamburg Atlanteans still intact. Banning is gone. Manchester Mavericks still intact. Some solo players have been eliminated as well. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17. Uh-oh. Did I count you, Sunday? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Well, I mean, I am
10,
on
11,
future side.
12,
You could just
13,
leave
14.
that there.
Yeah, I did. I
That's 16.
counted you. I was like, did I mess up? Okay. Phew. The things are still correct. So yeah, just very
That's just
interesting.
incredible, right? We started with 32 amazing players, and half of them are gone after the first
Half of
round. It
the
just
amazing players
still blows my mind.
are gone, and I guess there are a couple names that you definitely did not expect to disappear in round one. So one more time, we go like, yeah.
Although you
So
can kind of expect it though, since these are literally the best of the
yes,
best.
yeah,
Like you have the best players here in the world.
yeah.
It is seeing people lose round one. It's that doesn't say
No,
the
no,
skill of
no,
these
no,
players.
no, no.
They're
Unlucky matchups, unlucky draws, super strong opponents. Yeah. Again, a thank you to everyone that played, got eliminated. We may invite some of you, or if you want, please reach out if you want to commentate, co-host, be part of the recap, whatever, reach out. We might indulge you and have you on here because we want to rotate this as much as possible. We don't want to put all the burdens on one or two people to carry the thing, and we want this to make the community part of it. Thank you for getting eliminated, Lord Judo. I think it's time to move to the next topic.
Damn.
Oh crap! It's elimination again. Oof, how do I get myself out?
congratulations on losing.
Okay, let me. I think I'm a spin doctor. I can spin this in a
You
positive
can leave
way.
me on the champion part, that's fine. Just leave me there.
Congratulations to moving on to the next round for the following people. Let's do it that way. So, Matze, Siddharth Bamboo, Harmed, Lord Judo, Mike Fooney, Vargas, GJ999, Grishhammer, Holy Stew, Astrom, Cat Marrow, JDG, the Wookiee, Lorenzo, and Benji Kino. You guys survived round one of the most contested online tournaments I think held so far. Um, and yeah, there's only, I guess, 3 rounds to go until you're in the final, right? So 1, 2, 3, yeah. If you win 3 more times, it's in the final. Easy peasy.
No stress.
No stress, just have to get past some world champions and some national
Yeah.
champions of
And
multiple Fall Tour
Vendola, and
winners.
you know.
It's
Yeah,
it's all easy. Oh
and it
my,
pays
if I
well.
win, I might have to face Grishhammer. Yeah. So maybe you don't even want to win. It's up to you. um, yeah, I think we kind of come to the end. We won't spoil too much on our predictions, even more than we already did. Let's go back to this welcome screen. Um, an hour. I think that's a good time.
Okay.
On the
Yeah,
dot, yeah.
yeah,
And I'm already looking forward to waking up every day next day with new high level exciting Keyforge matches. It's going to be fun.
yeah.
I am so
I'm
excited.
same here, honestly. Being able to watch these back, and also we have a collection on the final refrain, where I think we've got 16 and then plus 8, 24, plus another 4, 28, 30, 31 matches in the end of high-level Keyforge, piloted by the best players, the best of the best decks at the moment. When compared to organized play, right? There might be some hidden gems somewhere. Um, but yeah, looking forward to round two. Um, Everyone, good luck who's still playing. I know Harmed and I will be playing a lot of games again next week, preparing for our upcoming games.
Time to
And
practice a fuck ton again, yeah.
probably all other teammates are also ready to help out testing with everyone else. Harm, maybe some final words from you, followed by Sandy.
Well, to start with, also thanks to you, Tom, for putting together this whole slideshow, all the prep that you put into it.
Thank
And I
you.
just hope Rico's asleep right now because he absolutely deserved it.
Yeah,
Uh, Thanks for having me here as well. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
so cool.
and also thank you for having us. It was a fun time recapping everything here. Congratulations to everyone that went on to the second round, and thank you all for the players that unfortunately were eliminated. I won't say congrats for that, unlike some other people here. But thank you for playing. I mean, truly, this is, I would say, the pinnacle of online Keyforge at this time, or at the moment. Just amazing games, amazing players. You know, this was a joy to watch. It's a joy to cast, and I'm looking forward to the next round and on.
For sure. And with that, we say thank you for watching. See you hopefully next week. We want to do this a weekly thing, and maybe the final week will be the finals at this time around. But that's getting ahead of things. We need to know the availability of the players. So yeah, keep on forging, and see you next time. Bye.
Have a
Bye.
good night.